Welcome to This is IOM, the podcast that gives you a front row seat to everything that Institute for Organization Management has to offer. I'm your host, Cici. Today is a special one. It's July 7th, 2026, and it is Raymond P. Towle, IOM CAE's final day after 23 years with the U.S. Chamber of Commerce. 23 years to the day. We could spend hours covering everything Raymond has touched in his time here, and trust me, we considered it. But if you know Raymond, you know he'd tell us to keep it brief. So today we're zeroing in on the program that has defined so much of his legacy, IOM. We're reflecting, celebrating, and yes, getting a few things on the record. Let's get to it. I'm Cici, and this is IOM.
All right, welcome to today's special episode. Today is July 7th, and it is one Raymond P. Towle, IOM CAE, his final day as he concludes 23 years of employment at the Chamber. And we'd be remiss if we didn't give him a proper send-off, so we bring him in today for a retirement episode. And Raymond has covered a lot of buckets and has spent a lot of time at the Chamber, 23 years to the day. So we would need more than 30 minutes to cover all of it, but if you know Raymond, you know we will be brief. So we're only going to focus on his time at Institute and celebrate time that has defined much of his time at the Chamber with Institute.
Thanks for having me, Cici.
Yeah, so Raymond, to kick it off, we'll start at the beginning. So you've been with the Chamber for 23 years to the day.
To the day.
For those who may not know, can you give us a quick picture of what Institute is and what is your role with it?
You know, to me, Institute is the premier educational program for chamber execs and association execs. Why do I say that? I've been in the business long enough to know you go to a lot of conferences and you're looking for that flashy title and you're trying to get people into a program. Institute is a school. The curriculum is directly tied to the two bodies of knowledge of the two professional certifications in our industry, the CAE and the CCE. We have a dedicated faculty, some that have been with us over 25 years. At the same time, we keep it fresh by our curriculum committee, that they communicate both with ASAE and ACCE because they're part of this professional development. And, we bring in 15%, our goal, 15% new faculty every year. And obviously, CC, you do a great job to make sure that happens. So that's why it's special. It keeps it fresh, but at the same time, it is a true school dedicated to the core curriculum of the two professional certifications.
Excellent. And what has been your role with Institute?
You know, my role, it started as what Karen's doing today, if we go back many years. And I had the privilege of hiring Karen over 20 years ago, and she's just fantastic. So my role now, because my role at the Chamber has grown in the sense that I manage let's call it a $5.5 million budget with 9 staff. And it is Institute, but it's also membership, it's accreditation, special projects, and things of that nature. But today is about IOM. And it is about, where I started. And now it's more of a, just the overall making sure it's going in the right direction, make sure the team is thinking about the right things and how we can improve the program for the next 20 years.
Keep the trains on the tracks, if you will. Love it. And we say this is 23 years to the day. Can you take us back to when you were hired at the Chamber? And what was your first Institute site like, or early sites that you remember?
You know, it was interesting because 23 years ago, and I haven't told this story to many people, but during my interview process, which was very short, and at the time, I did not apply for the job. Someone from the Chamber took me to lunch. We had done a project together about 2 years earlier, and he said, "Hey, let's go to lunch." So I brought all the materials. I'm thinking we're going to do this program again, and he just pushes it aside. He said, "When are you going to start working at the Chamber?" 2 weeks, 3 weeks later, after the interview process, which really took about a week, and then lining up when I could depart, because I came from ASAE, everyone knows about them on the association side of the house. I was actually interviewed by Suzanne Clark, who is today the president and CEO of the U.S. Chamber.
Oh my gosh. And do you remember your first Institute site? What was that like? Or one of the first sites you went to?
I would say the first site was Northeast, and it would have been just shortly after I started. It was interesting for me because I was charged with managing the program. I had already received my CAE, but I did not have my IOM.
Oh, interesting.
And it was important for me personally to go through the program for credibility. If I manage the system, if I manage the program, I better have IOM after my name. So when I first got there and I looked around and just the way some things were done. It was an eye-opening experience, and I'll leave it at that. But I will say that IOM is probably my greatest achievement in everything I've done association management, because it is different today than when it was when I arrived.
Aw, I love hearing that. And you mentioned on this, you talked about curriculum, and the curriculum committee, you've always said, is your favorite meeting.
Yes, it is.
Why is that?
Because it's I hate to use this term, it's the real word, but it is when ASAE comes together with ACCE and all the volunteers of IOM at the U.S. Chamber. And we're all in a room for almost half a day. And our sole role is to make sure that the curriculum is relevant and directly tied to those two certifications.
Yeah, excellent. Well put. How have you seen the curriculum change over the years?
It's interesting. Most curriculum is evergreen because that's what we do in the nonprofit sector. Legal is legal, and CPA stuff, the finances is the finance stuff. Every once in a while, you may have a new regulation that comes in. Now, we did have, most recently, I'll focus on that, would be the artificial intelligence and how we have put that into the different coursework. At first, we had a couple of bonus sessions, but today we have a core and we have an elective. So it just gives you a sense of different things that come up that we get involved in and make it real for people.
Yeah, I love that. Well, I love that you say make it real. It reminds me of BeReal, but we'll get back to that later. The program has had a lot of different identities and different themes and campaigns, both in social and other. One recently is Learn, Grow, Connect. Are there any themes or campaigns that stand out to you that Institute has had over the years?
I was cleaning my office out, cube, as they say.
Taking that box on the metro.
I ran across an old marketing piece that it was called Top Secret, and it was a picture of me as a character, and I was holding the.
I'm sure there's a video.
Institute stuff, and there may be somewhere, but it just goes to how creative staff have been at Institute and how we try and get the message out. The reality is everyone knows about Institute. I mean, it's been going on for 105 years, right? Since 1921. And, you go, anytime I gave a speech anywhere around the country, I'd say, how many people here are graduates of Institute or going to Institute? And 3/4 of the room raised their hand. So that's something that we all should be proud of as an IOM team, because we are making a difference for chamber execs and association execs across the country.
That's incredible. It is cool to see as we've gone through some of the old files and the shifting from 6 to 5 to 4 sites and the shifting of the curriculum, how that's changed, the tests that we no longer do, the tracks that we no longer do. It's really seen a lot of different iterations, and it's neat to see that. Can you tell us about the creation of IOM recognition in 2004 and how did that come about?
When I came about, when I was hired, they were already in the middle of doing that. Mm. And it was important for us when we made the decision, and with the volunteers, we had great support, that we made sure that it was a recognition. It was not a certification or whatever other words people like to use. No.
Credentials, certification.
Yeah, it's a recognition that you have completed 96 hours of nonprofit management. And we encourage you to put IOM on your business. And you know what? It makes a statement that you take your job seriously, your industry, and you took 4 years out of your life. Now, most recently, some people are fast tracking. Yeah. But when I first came on board, everyone went the 4 years, and everyone went back to the same site that they picked, where they built their relationships. Yeah. And so it was a commitment, just like someone who goes to college, that's a 4-year commitment to get your degree. Yeah. So this is, once you're in the workforce, and it is adult education. And, we've got all the statistics, and it is, it's how do I say this? It's not the young people necessarily, the bulk of the people attending the program. It is the folks who are seasoned, who've been in the business for a number of years. Yeah. And they hunger for the program, the education, to make sure that they can go back as a chamber to their communities and as association exec to their industry sectors and make sure they're doing the right things.
And I've always said it's so commendable to see adults going back to learn when there's not as many opportunities for structured learning. I think once you're in the workforce, right? Once you're in college, it's very structured. It's here's the 4-year course. Here's a 2-year program. But I feel like when you're in the workforce, it's very hard to find structured learning opportunities. So it's commendable. I agree with you. And looking at Institute having different homes over the years. So we've gone from 6 to 5 to 4 sites. Can you tell us about what's changed and how you've seen that change in the program, the different homes of Institute?
It's really, we're doing whatever the customer wants. And the customer has told us that the sites they really love is winter, the first week in January, which is a nice place to be.
January.
If you're from the Northeast. And I want to say we drew 250 students this year. We just came back. The team came back from Southeast. We had over 250 students there.
284.
Those are the two anchors. Yeah. And then, of course, we got Madison, which is pushing 150. And then we end at the end of the year, end of August, with Northeast, which is heavily association attended. But we're in 4 sites right now, and we will always respond to our students. Where they go is where we're going to stay. And where we stay, I mean, when I came on board 23 years ago, we were already going to Tucson. I want to say Georgia, we've been down there like over 60 years at the University of Georgia, Athens, at the Adult Education Center. So again, it's a school and it's a program that's been around for a long, long time, and it's not going.
And it's not going anywhere. I like that. All right. And over the years, you've been to all Institute sites, I think, except 2, where there was a schedule conflict. What has it meant to you to be on the ground at Institute over 23 years times 4 or 5?
It's the people. Mm-hmm. It's the relationships. And I did love teaching. And you guys were UC Almeida. You don't have to teach one class. And that was fun. Every once in a while, in my early days, before the current team, although Cam was probably around, I did fill in and I did teach a couple of government affairs classes. But no, it's the people, and you build traditions. We would go back to the same sites. We'd go to the same restaurants. Yeah. We have a famous Chinese restaurant we started years ago in Madison called AA China. Also in Madison, I take the staff to Tornado Steakhouse. It's just tradition, and that's what we do. And that's really what it's all about. And working with the volunteers, and then seeing the students in the class and their eyes light up, and they're not only learning from the faculty member, they're learning from each other. Yeah. And that's what's important about Institute. And they are building relationships that they take down the road. And it's funny, I just came back from an Association Committee 100 meeting, and that's why I couldn't be at Southeast. I was out at Boulder. And I was talking to one of the students there, and they told me that they still stay in touch with their IOM colleagues from 20 plus years.
Incredible.
It's amazing. Yeah. And this is the CEO of a major trade association in Washington, D.C.
Yeah. It goes to show you build the relationships at Institute and they stay.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, you've done a lot of the speeches. So something we've come to know is Raymond speaking at graduation. And you do have a couple anchor stories that we all love. Can you tell us about what's one of your favorite graduation speech stories that you've shared? We know Bricklayer is one. We've heard a couple over the years.
I'd probably say the Bricklayer.
Yeah. For those who haven't heard it, give us a little teaser.
Well, a community leader happens upon a construction site, and she asked each bricklayer, 3 bricklayers, the same question. And the first says, I'm laying a brick. The second, I'm building a wall. The third, I'm creating a cathedral. And the way I ended, chamber execs, association execs, Institute has given you the tools to go back home and build the cathedrals in your communities and in your industry sectors. I say congratulations, and that's how we end it.
We love it. We love hearing the stories.
and then one other little one that sometimes I would roll there because I always try and end with a quote.
Yeah.
And I guess my favorite quote would be from Al Lappin, who happened to be a family friend, not a relative, but a family friend way, way back. And he was the founder of IHOP, International House of Pancakes. And way back when I would visit with him from time to time, I would always say, what is your favorite pancake? I mean, IHOP has so many pancakes and flavors and things like that. And Deadpan looks right at me, the ones that say. It was a serial entrepreneur. It was unbelievable. And the other quote that I also used from him, which is it's a mindset. And again, it goes back to being an entrepreneur and things of that nature. And chamber execs and association execs have to be this way in managing. He used to say, Raymond, in business, there are no challenges, only opportunities. And that's the mindset.
Mm-hmm.
Don't think problems or anything else. And someone would say problem, other people will say challenge. No, there's no challenges in business. Only opportunities. It's seeing the glass half full.
Yeah. In prepping for this, I was going through my notes from our interview when I interviewed for the team. And I did write down something you said, which is, don't come to me with problems, come to me with a solution, or something to that effect. And I remembered, it was interesting reading back through our notes from 4 years ago. And I was like, wow, Raymond has really stood the test of time. And it stands true as, the mindset is don't just come with here's what's wrong, but yes, maybe here's what went wrong, but here's how I think we can fix it. The mentality of looking ahead, not just what was me. Amazing. Well, going to the 30,000 foot level, how would you say Institute has changed over the last 23 years? What are the biggest changes you see from when you started to where we are now?
Professionalism and how it is a school, and it's all about the education. It's not about an extracurricular activity, or it's really focused on the curriculum, making everyone better. That's not to say that they're still not doing class dinners and things of that nature. But we at Institute, we're not in the business of creating an event after the program. Our work with the volunteers is all about the education experience from 8 o'clock to 5 o'clock. And I'm very proud of that.
Very well put. Well, you kind of got into this a little bit behind the scenes. So pulling back the curtain, some of the staff traditions. So we always do a staff dinner, which is one of our favorite Institute experiences of the week. And what have been your favorite staff dinners over the years or locations? I know you mentioned one of them, Tornadoes.
Tornadoes is probably the best because we kept going back to the same restaurant. And for, I want to say, almost the first 5 years or more, we requested a specific table that we got and the same waitress.
Yeah.
And she knew us. And we only went there once a year, and it was fantastic. And when we first started going there, they would serve a soft shell crab on top of the bone-in ribeye.
That was my other question. What orders? What are the food orders?
It was the bone-in ribeye with hash browns and onion ring. And back in the day, because we went in June when soft shell crabs are in season, they had that. But they have not had that for the last 10 plus years. Aww. But no, that's probably one of the favorites. And having said that, when we were at back in the day when we were at West Institute, which was at LMU in Los Angeles, I would take the team and the volunteers to a restaurant called Sam's. And then after Sam's closed, we all went. I have a brother-in-law who has a house up on a hilltop, and he has a wine cellar that's buried in his backyard. And we did some special dinners and wine tastings up there. And sometimes it was 20 of us that he hosted. And we had somebody come in and make fresh pizzas in the pizza oven outside, watch the sunset, and then go down into his cellar and just pull whatever you wanted. And they were incredible bottles of wine. The cellar actually had 4,000 bottles. 4,000 bottles. And a lot of the people, I'm not saying a lot of people, but there are a number of people I'm sure that will listen to this podcast. Were in that cellar.
What?
Over the years.
That's wild.
Including Karen had been there.
Yeah. I barely missed the window of opportunity. 2019.
Those are probably two most special.
Okay. And apart from staff dinners and these dinners, for those that are going to the site, Winter, Midwest, Southeast, and Northeast, what are other restaurants or activities that you've enjoyed in those cities that you would recommend that people check out? I know you've always told me in Midwest, the museum, the
Hazen Museum to go there. They also in Georgia, they've got an art museum there that's walkable from the Adult Education Center.
Tito's Southeast. Fan favorite.
Yeah. But the other thing is, always visit the university's arena because if it's open and you get to go in and you go all around the main level, you'll see all of the trophies and the history of their sports programs, not just basketball, but everything, men's and women's. And it's incredible. And going back to the University of Wisconsin, I peeked through because I wasn't able to get inside this year, but I've been inside multiple years. That one's especially incredible. And they have a Towle glass exhibit. So for those who may or may not know who Towle is, he's very famous. His artwork is very expensive. And in the alumni part of the arena, he has a display of gosh, I'd say 20 pieces, which is unbelievable. And he has a museum out in Seattle where you can see all his stuff. He was a graduate of Madison. So that's why he.
Oh, okay. That's incredible. See, so much knowledge. Everyone needs to listen. I need all of this knowledge so I remember to go. And of restaurants, speaking of restaurants, you are something of a DC Chinatown expert. What are your favorite Chinatown restaurants?
Well,
what are orders?
It's no longer there, but Full Key had been there forever, and I swear I've been going there for 35 years. And I always ordered their wonton soup, Hong Kong style, which means it came with dumplings, shrimp dumplings, and no noodles. And then, of course, when we went as a team, and then we had this incentive or tradition of going there before the summer season started.
Yeah.
So we'd get soup for everybody. We get our Singapore noodles. We get whatever the special was.
Lunch special. You need that lunch special. You need that lunch special.
Couldn't go off the lunch special menu. We got to manage our budgets.
Yeah, we do. Those coffees are going to put us under. Amazing. And you mentioned this as well. Your blogs. Well, you mentioned Hilltop. So your blogs have had an evolution. You have Hilltop, Pickleball, Chamber Leader. Tell us about these. Pitch us your blogs. What should we read? What should we learn about?
The first question is probably, why did I get into writing blogs? Well, I can go back to a former employee here at the Chamber and worked in the Federation, Jenny Hatfield. And so Jenny Hatfield was taking a master's course at Johns Hopkins University. And it was in a policy, political, and the internet was just exploding. And she was talking to us about blogs and this. And I said to myself, you know what? I got to do this just to be
on the cutting edge.
On the cutting edge, know what she's talking about and what others going to be talking about. And back then, I used to take a lot of business trips because I would do site visits, and then I would do the 5 institute programs. My other part of the business, when I had CCC 100 and C100, that's another. Let's call that another. Up to 8 trips, and so I was always on the road, and I got bored. And you're in an airplane for a lot of time, so I started writing blogs. And so I think my first one, I've even had a cufflink blog where I was
amazing. Did you rate and review cufflinks?
I was selling cufflinks.
Yeah, I heard about this. A certain letter you got.
Yeah, at the New York subway tokens, and they I don't know why they can sell them, but I can. I got a little letter that said you can't sell it. So, okay, but today I will continue chamberleadership.com. And it's evergreen content on chamber management issues. So feel free. And I've been doing that, I want to say 14 years. My latest now, as I'm transitioning into retirement, is pickleballwithraymond.com. And anything you want to know about pickleball is on that website, in addition to the rules, equipment, and it has the digital magazine, pickleball magazine. That
you do videos of you playing pickleball?
Not yet. I take that back. A couple of my video. I got one video that's a tournament. I lost with my brother, but who we played was amazing. Ivan Lendl. For those of you who don't know who Ivan Lendl is, he was like an 8-time major champion in tennis. We're talking Wimbledon.
That circuit.
You know what? It was 60-plus league, 4.5, and there they were. He was our opponent because he was kind of getting into it.
So I will lose to you, gladly.
So that's on the website, and then crushed his butt. I got a video of me passing both of them. His partner was a gentleman by the name of Tobias, and he was like 80th in the world. So that was
pretty impressive. Yeah,
that was incredible. But I have a lot of videos in the blog, pros, that you can, the way it's structured in pickleball, the serve, the return, and the third shot drop. So those are your 3 things you got to learn. So that's how the blog is. I've got those 3 things written about it, and then I've got videos of each one. And then, so, take it from there.
So
and obviously,
Pickleball with Raymond.
Pickleballwithraymond.com. And the reason why I really did, because I used AI to make that happen. And that was my first foray into using AI, which that was, Nathan and I, we used to always talk about AI and things of that nature. But no, we're talking, that's probably 4 years old. So
Wild. I remember when you started this.
when AI just came out, I mean, AI got so many different platforms now. It's
Yeah.
unbelievable. But we were using whatever the Google one was, and was it Bard?
Gemini, or oh yeah,
I think it was Bard,
early
BARD.
on, yeah.
No one even knows what that is. So I'm dating
Old timer.
dating
Seasoned.
myself. Yeah.
Amazing. Well, Raymond, one last question before we get to our rapid fire. You are known for starting your emails with ellipses. Tell us about that.
I just, it means there's more to come. And it was interesting because I had a staffer come up to me one time and they said, "Oh my God, when I get that," I said,
I get so nervous. I get so nervous every time.
What are you talking about? Here's the subject line that I want to talk about, and dot, dot, dot. And then I continue on.
You keep them waiting for more.
And then in the body of the email, I also start that with after your name, dot, dot, dot. And then
I know, it stresses me out.
And then I continue on. I guess that's just a Raymondism.
I love it. Well, speaking of Raymondisms, we're going to get to those momentarily. We have a couple questions, and this is first thing that comes to mind. These questions might be familiar because these are what you ask us in our interviews. What was the last book you read?
I've reread a number of books, but I think one of my favorites is Black Echo. It's the first series.
Black
Echo. ECHO. My genre is the crime novel, and that was by Michael Connelly. Harry Bosch.
Okay.
Harry Bosch.
And what would your hometown newspaper say about you?
He made a difference.
I love that. How would you describe yourself in one word?
Honest.
And if you had to guess, how many institute sites have you attended in total?
23 years. Used to be 5. So you're already over 115 back. I'd say 110, and maybe I missed 2. So do the rest. I think you tell me. I put the
108.
108.
108. All right.
We'll
count this up in post. 108 is the guess. All right. And how many graduation speeches have you given over the years?
Oh my gosh! I didn't say all of them.
All of them. Okay.
Except
108.
When I
Oh yeah.
100 and I missed 2. So Karen did those, and then this year,
winter
I was at winter and I was at Midwest, and I did not do either one because I knew I was retiring, and it's Karen's turn to shine, and I watched her perform, and she did great.
She killed it.
She did.
Well, how many BeReals have we taken together?
Oh my God!
And I do have the number on this one.
Well, it's interesting. No, it's funny that you bring that up, Cici, because I was talking to somebody the other day, and I said, "Oh, I got to do this thing, BeReal," and she said, "That is so old. Who is doing that?"
I am so old. I am so old, Raymond.
And I forgot to come back and tell you that.
So you put it on the record publicly for everyone?
Well, I don't say it's so old, but I mean, it's like there's other technology, or who's doing that?
You know what?
Who's doing that?
Let me live my life. Let me be happy.
Maybe that was it. Who's doing that anymore?
Who's doing that? Me. Okay, it's me.
I'm just I'm glad I was able to share that on the podcast.
Yeah, get that out to the world. Thank you.
You're quite welcome.
How many do you think it's been? And the first one was September 6th, 2023.
2023.
So over 3 years.
Over 3 years. Over 100.
You know what? It was only 59.
Really?
I know.
Because I was thinking
maybe I'll have to go back
once a week.
Well, there are definitely some that are more in 1 week.
Okay.
Yeah. So 59 is one I have.
All right.
So Raymond, over the years, you've given us a lot of materials, and we've been collecting it. As you know, we call them Raymondisms. We have our list. These are things anyone who knows you say, and we want to put them on the record. Speaking of putting things out there on the record, because history should know. So I'm going to give you this, and I'd like for you to read it. These may be very familiar in the voice that you would say it. We'd like to get this on the record.
I'm a numbers guy.
Yeah, you are.
Please. Pick it up.
Put it on.
You just got a facial. Oh, this is a good one. If you're going to hoot with the owls at night, you better be ready to soar with the eagles in the morning.
Yeah, you will.
And always follow that with rest is a weapon. When you travel, you have to get your rest. You have to stay hydrated, drink your water, eat properly, don't eat junk food, because you're there and you're providing a service and you're putting on an educational program. Important. Off the charts. Oh, the fluffy stories. Well, I got to elaborate.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
She just has fluffy.
I just have the punchline.
Yeah. So when you're trying to ease somebody into something, Fluffy's not feeling well. The next conversation, well, Fluffy's on the roof. The third one, Fluffy jumped. Oh, this is a good one. Tell the chef I didn't like it. Silence is golden. Learn, grow, connect. I did use that for many, many years in my speech. Oh, hang your lantern. That's a political thing I learned a long, long time ago. Hang your lantern. You did something wrong, just own it. Come out and say it. Don't try and hide it, because you know what? If you try and hide things, it comes back to get you later. Just be truthful. Be honest. Going back to be honest. Everyone makes a mistake. Yeah. Everyone makes a mistake. And when you do that, you are showing your colleagues, your bosses, and everything that, hey, you
can trust me.
You can trust me. Yeah. Absolutely. Actually, this one's a little bit different. And I was going to correct Nathan when he put this on the list. But when I talk about institute, and it's all about numbers, and you got to have a strong first year. So then that way you're going to have second year, third year, fourth year. And the way I described it, it's the rat going through the snake. Mm-hmm. You have to have your first year graduates, then they come back for second year. Then those second years come back to third, and then third to it. So that's what that one's all about. But this is not me. I mean, this is an old political term. Reagan, trust but verify. This is a good one. We're closer here, which is true. That's true. And then the last one they got on here, which is probably, we went way over our time.
Hey, we don't know that yet. We don't know that.
I always say less is more.
And did we miss any? Are there any other Raymondisms?
No, there's not any Raymondisms, but if you allow me the last word, I will.
Raymond, you took the words out of my mouth. I will let you. We have one last question, and it's a question you ask. What are the 3 questions you ask yourself? And we will let that be the final word.
Oh, well, you set that one up because you've heard this one before. But I had it wasn't necessarily a mentor, but it was a IOM volunteer, faculty member. And I remember one time we were standing outside graduation, back then after the graduation dinner, and we were waiting for our cab to go back. And he said, Raymond, in life, you got to ask yourself 3 questions. Did you honor your commitments? Did you make a difference? And are you happy? And so I say that to everybody, whether it's professional or personal. And if you can say yes to those 3 things, and I can tell you today, I can. Because Institute played a major role in number 2, making a difference. You're a happy person, and you had a great life. So thank you, Cici.
Thank you,
for
Raymond.
our time together.
Thank you, Raymond.
And that's a wrap on Raymond P. Towle's retirement episode. And what a send-off it has been. 23 years to the day, exactly 100 Institute sites, yes, we calculated, about as many graduation speeches, and even more Raymondisms than we could ever fit into one episode. We couldn't let him leave without putting it all on the record. Raymond, you have been the heart and soul of Institute and this team for longer than some of us have been in the workforce. The nonprofit professionals you've impacted, both on the community and individual level, will stand long after today. We are so grateful for your contributions, and we will miss you more than words can say. That said, we know where to find you, on the pickleball court. To our listeners, thanks for joining today. We'll catch you on the next episode. In the words of Raymond P. Towle himself, as a final send-off, I have 3 questions for you. Did you honor your commitments? Did you make a difference? Are you happy? Thanks for listening.